Welcome to episode 21 of our series on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. As you know, there are thousands of surnames in these regions. So, to make our task more manageable, we're focusing on pre-Civil War surnames. Each of the family names we'll examine today was requested by members of our YouTube community. You might note that I discuss surnames in the order that I received them, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve as a resource for you. I also appreciate you for being patient with me as I make my way through the hundreds of names still on our list. In case you missed the previous video, I'll post a link to it in the description. So, today on the Vantage Point, we'll be talking about the origins and meanings of 10 common and not so common Appalachian and Southern surnames. I hope you'll join me. Let's get started. Number 1, Masters and Mcmasters. They have different origins, so today they'll be treated as surname 1 and 2. Let's look at Masters first. This surname arrived in the Isles with the Normans in the 11th and 12th centuries. Masters means the master's son. In keeping with the aristocratic roots of the word, or name, Scotland has its own version. The eldest son of a baron was called Masters. The uncle of a noble was also called Masters. Number 2, Mcmasters. The Scottish Mcmaster is most often found in Wigton and Dumfries. Being so close to Ulster, barely 12 to 20 miles across the North Channel of the Irish Sea, Mcmaster is also found in counties Antrim and Down. In Ireland, things get a bit muddier. The son of master in Irish Gaelic is. It was often anglicized to Mcmasters. A branch of the Irish McCurlins often anglicized their name as Masterson. Neither form of the surname is found among the common Welsh names. While it's quite possible for Masters in the American South to have originated in England, the Mcmasters is often, and most often, an Irish or Scottish surname. Masterson is most likely Irish. Number 3, Hamby. In Morgan County, Tennessee, there are many families named Hamby. In fact, I would venture to say that it's among the more common surnames on the eastern escarpment of the Cumberland Plateau. The BY at the end tells me that there were some Vikings in the old Hamby family tree. The BY means farm. Ham can refer to a dweller at a level or river pasture. It can also come from Heim, an old High German personal name, or a settlement. It seems likely that Hamby was given to a farmer who lived on a level or river pasture. It could also come from Heim's farm. Interestingly, Hamby is not among any of the common surnames in Great Britain or Ireland. However, given that surnames with the suffix BY were often used by Viking settlers, I would wager that Hamby comes from the northeast of England. That was a major part of Danelaw. Number 3, Houston. In Tennessee and Texas, the surname Houston is a big historical deal. I'm sure that somebody's thinking about the city of Houston down in Texas, but they're scratching their heads about Tennessee. They might even be thinking, Van, you're delusional. That's a Texas surname. You can't make every name out to be from Tennessee and Scotland. Huh. Here's a bit of history for you, though. The city of Houston was named after Sam Houston, a former general in the Texas War of Independence. He was also the president of Texas, a short-lived independent country, and then a United States senator from the state of Texas. That's the bloke that you might recall. But before he found lasting fame in Texas, Sam Houston had served as a U.S. representative from the state of Tennessee. He also served as the governor of Tennessee from 1827 to 1829. Well, Van, what did it mean, and where did it come from? Since you ask, Houston comes from Scotland, and it means Hughes Town. Houston arrived in Ireland from Scotland during the plantation of Ulster in the early 17th century. It's not common in the Republic of Ireland or Wales. I think we're safe in calling Houston a Scottish or Scots-Irish name. Number 4, Boren. This Irish surname started its existence in Gaelic as. In Oklahoma, the name Boren conjures up memories of David Boren, a retired politician who was a major player in national and state governments. In addition to stints as a governor of Oklahoma and as a United States senator from Oklahoma, he also served as the president of the University of Oklahoma. Can I say Oklahoma one more time? Nevertheless, the surname Boren originated in Ireland's East Limerick and West Tipperary. McClysick believes that the name originally meant deaf. Boren is not found among the more common names in Wales, England, or Scotland. I think we're safe in calling Boren an Irish surname. Number 6, Gooden. Here's another surname that's found among my kids' maternal lines. Couldn't you imagine hearing someone's proud grandpa bragging about his granddaughter? She's a good 'un, I reckon. My granddaughter Hattie was named after her double great-grandmother, Hattie Gooden. So I think my Hattie is a pretty good one too. Gooden was originally used by Anglo-Saxons as a baptismal name for the son of Godwin. It's not found among the common surnames in Ireland, Scotland, or Wales. I think that we're safe, more than safe that is, in calling Gooden an English surname. Number 7, Carroll. Carroll's one of those surnames that sound very English, but it began its existence as one of those Irish names. In Ireland, Carroll meant warrior. Even in Scotland, Carroll is considered an Irish surname. It's not among the common surnames in Wales, so it looks like in Appalachia and the South, we should consider Carroll an Irish surname. Number 8, another Texas name, Austin. It's the capital of the state of Texas and the home of the University of Texas. It was also the fictitious surname of Colonel Steve Austin. He was a man barely alive, but they rebuilt him, made him faster and stronger. You remember, $6 Million Man. The surname Austin entered the Isles with the Normans. As with many Norman names, it spread to Ireland and Scotland. It originally meant majestic, or a diminutive of Augustine. Austin has been in Ireland since the 14th century. It also has Gaelic forms. It's also been in Scotland for centuries. It has a long and storied history as an allied family of Clan Keith. In Appalachia in the South, I think we're safe in calling Austin an Anglo-Irish, Irish or Scottish surname. Number 9, Herndon. This English toponymic began its existence as the name of a small village in Bedfordshire. Its original name, which is also still used as a surname, was Herndon. Herndon or Herndon is not common in Ireland, Scotland, or Wales. It seems that it's as common in the South as it is in England. I think we're safe in calling Herndon an English surname. Number 10, Crabtree. Some creative person once posited that the name Crabtree was a name given to a fisherman who nailed crabs to a tree as he cleaned his fish catch. I'm afraid that notion is incorrect. It was given to people who lived near a crab tree. While Crab is a well-known surname in Scotland, Crabtree isn't. It's not found among the more common surnames in Ireland, Scotland, or Wales. I think we're safe in calling Crabtree a quintessential English surname. Well, neighbors, that's all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of our discussion. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I invite you to check out all the videos on the Vantage Point. In addition to Surnames of Appalachia in the South, they cover a wide range of topics. I even have one in which I discuss the deadliest tornado that ever wreaked havoc on humanity. If demand warrants it, I'll be back soon with another episode on the Surnames of Appalachia and the American South. I hope to see you then. God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.